um, what time frame to use. And so I just wanted, like, that's why I always ask when people say, what's your opinion on this or that? Like, what's your time frame? What are you planning on holding it for? So that's the reason, like, intraday. Well, intraday, if you're looking to capture a move and just hold it for a short period of time, I use the 5 minute. You would either probably want to use the 1 minute or the 5 minute because it tells you kind of different stories. And so, for instance, like using the 1 minute intraday, you can kind of tell that there's a little bit of a bottom around this area. And if you're using the 1 minute, then you can play these little, because you're playing with such a small time frame, you'd expect to hold these bounces for a couple minutes. And you can see that using the 1 minute, so if you're just holding it for either a minute or a couple seconds, you could kind of play around this range and make some money off of it with the moves inside the range and then maybe when it broke outside of the range. Um, let's see. For instance, 5 minute also works intraday, and you're still going to be able to play similar range. But since you're looking at 5 minute candles, for this small of a range, you would want to use the 1 minute candle because you're probably only going to be holding for 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, something like that. So therefore, you want to use the 1 minute because you're looking to hold in intervals as small as 1 minute, 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes. And so that's kind of intraday, just while you would use those two specifically. And that's with any type of pattern. This is just me identifying like a little range right here. But say if you were going to look at like a bull flag, a bear flag, an ascending or descending triangle, something like that, well, if it's intraday, then you're going to want to look at the 1 minute or the 5 minute. If it's something that's happening over a long period of time, then you look at intervals that are longer periods of time. So, for instance, like you go out to the 6 month and the SPY. Well, I don't think I was making videos back then, but these levels should stick out to you. Like 280 should stick out to you as a pretty significant resistance level. Now, the first time it bounced off of 280, you were able to play swings kind of off of these bounces, off of these rejections of 280, with the last swing being very profitable. Now, since we were looking to swing and hold for multiple days, we were looking at the frequency of daily. And that's because you were wanting to hold for multiple days. So you're looking to hold and your move to be a longer time frame. So therefore, you're probably going to look at longer time frames. You're not going to look at trying to make a swing trade off of a 1 minute chart or a 5 minute chart, looking at like the 2 day or something. Or if you do, you'll probably be wrong. But if you're wanting to make a swing trade, you need to look at a longer time frame so you can see the longer time frame trends. We were trading within this range, and we traded within it, and you can play swing trades off of it, and you can see that daily candle broke below it. So if you weren't already in a position betting against the market, swinging it down, then this was a good indicator. When you had that daily candle below it, was a very strong indicator that, hey, we just broke out of that range to the downside, and we'd been inside that range for a while, so we're probably about to make a large move to the downside. And so you were therefore looking at the daily to make this like swing trade, and it shows you a lot more information. And you're not sitting there looking intraday at the 1 minute chart saying, oh, did this thing just close, a candle close below 263.01? No, because you're making a swing trade. So you want to see on the daily, what did it do? Because you're looking for the daily picture. That's the story you're trying to follow. And you can even do it for longer time frames. This is a little extreme, but say, if you wanted to look at weekly, well, what does that kind of show you happen down here? Well, that's a pretty significant level. And so through all of this time, you may have been looking for the SPY to break out above here. And it broke out once, got sold back off, didn't have I would say a ton of volume up here, and then it broke out a second time and it went. And it's hit kind of, up here it had this pullback and went kind of down to around these levels, and up here it's had a much bigger pullback on this side. But so you can use, like, so, I'm using the weekly time frame for maybe if you were to hold through, I don't know, October of 2014 through somewhere around here, so like multiple years. So longer time frame that I'm playing with, longer time frame that I want to look at on the charts to try to see the move and identify the trend, identify the story that the market tells you. Market generally does give you a large amount of signals, I would say, as to what is probably, not for certain, but what is probably going to happen and where it would probably be a good place to enter. So anyway, that wasn't me really showing anything like specific about trends that you would trade and what exact time frames to use for every trend, but it's just like you should generally know, if you're looking to play intraday, look at the 1 minute and 5 minute. If you're looking to hold a trade for, a week, 2 weeks, then maybe look at the 15, 30 minute. If you're looking to hold it for, a couple months, then probably look at the daily. Or a couple weeks or months, probably look at the daily. And, even if you're looking to hold, you can do this off the TA too, looking to hold something for a couple years, well, then probably look at the weekly. And so anyway, I hope that kind of answered your question. And as always, I was a little bit confused with your question at first, but anyway, I hope that answers it. And as always, like, if anyone has any other questions or wants me to do a video on my thoughts on anything else, just let me know. And I hope that helps some of y'all.